Hello, and today we are looking at Swordship. Normally, games have you damaging enemies directly, but you don't do that in this game. Instead, you have to trick enemies into damaging each other. I'll show you what I mean, but let's have a look at the options menu first. Audio sliders for everything, master, music, sounds, that's all good. Video, you can put the resolution all the way down to 640 by 480 or all the way up to whatever your monitor is. That's where I'm at, 3840 by 2160. I'm not going to set it that high because that's a little much. The controls, you can remap all three of these keys. I'm navigating the menu right now with WASD, but you can also do that with the arrow keys. And you control the ship with WASD or the arrow keys. I also tried an Xbox 360 controller. That works. I tried a PlayStation 4 controller. That works. I even tried a HOTAS flight stick. That also works. Although when you map the buttons, these boxes come up blank. So you'll have to... And you still have to press the enter key to set things in the menu. So if you're going to use a flight stick, just keep that in mind. You have lots of options for controls. You can turn off screen shake, dynamic camera. Dynamic camera is just when you finish a level or when you get a kill or something, sometimes the camera will like zoom around and do this like dynamic camera thing because it looks cooler. You can turn that on or off. You can adjust the acceleration of the ship so it can go faster, it can go slower. Emerging warning distance and proximity warning distance. If you want to make this a little bit easier, you can crank these up so that you have an easier time. You know when an enemy is about to come out of the water, or you know when an enemy is about to shoot or explode or do something like that. So you can make it a little bit easier for yourself. Language options, you have lots of options here. You should be able to find something that works for you. There's a lot of options here. So that's pretty much all for the settings. Let's get into the game. The story of this game is that the world has flooded, which forced people to live in underwater cities. There are 3 of them, with busy cargo shipping lanes between all of them. You are a ship pilot in a very fast speedboat. You're stealing this cargo and delivering it to people who have been banished from the cities. There are little bits of barren lands which the people who are banished are living on, and they can barely survive without these containers. You have no guns on this speedboat. The only offensive ability that you have is to sacrifice a piece of cargo and drop it as a bomb. The rest of the time, you're dodging enemies, trying to get them to shoot each other to blow each other up. There are pickup lines and drop-off points that appear in each stage. The game tells you how many there are at the beginning of each stage. Even if you miss all the pickups and get no containers, you can still rack up points by tricking enemies. The more enemies you destroy, the higher your score. And the higher your score, the more unlocks you'll get when the run ends. But don't worry, if you die and got enough points to unlock at least one level, you'll still get that unlock. When you finish a stage, any cargo you have will go towards your point total, or extra lives, or new abilities. Abilities like 2 drop-off points instead of 1, dive for longer, you can dive briefly to avoid damage, more energy drops to use for your ship ability. Alright, let's have a quick look at the progression here. So, as you go through, you're going to unlock new things here. Like the latest thing that I got is a new weather type. These lightning bolts can come down and they can damage you, but they can also damage enemies. You can unlock various things here, little pieces of art from the game and stuff like that. Upgrades, yellow container pickup lines appear where the swordship is instead of you having to move towards it. There's all kinds of different things that you can get here. You can get ship variants, deliver containers instantly. These ones, no upgrades from containers, but containers give you 2 extra lives. There's all kinds of different things here. And it goes all the way up to 60,000 currently. It could probably go higher if they keep updating the game, but there's a ways to go, and I'm at a little less than 15. So there's quite a bit here. The game has a photo mode I thought I'd mention. The thumbnail for this video is a shot I took in photo mode actually, so that's a nice thing to have. Most games give you a sword, a gun, an army, or whatever until you hit the enemy directly. And yeah, sometimes games allow you to set up traps or poison enemies or cause enemies that go into a frenzy and attack each other. Those are options in some other games, but they're not part of the core gameplay design like here. I like games that do this. They take what is the conventional design and flip it on its head. I hope they have more updates to this game. Maybe a few more visual variations in these areas. Enemy variety is good. From what I've seen, there are no bosses, but that could be interesting. Maybe add an optional boss at the end of each city, and you get extra containers if you beat it. I'd like to see an online scoreboard too. Regional, worldwide. It could be like the old arcades trying to beat somebody else's high score. I think that would be fun. I like this game. I like it a lot. It would have been easy to make a game very similar to this, except give your ship weapons and just shoot at these enemies. Yeah, they can still have the abilities, or like with these flaming units, you could just stay away from them and shoot them. But since you can't do that, you have to find some other way to deal with them, either by dodging them or taking these little flying mine things, whatever those are, and hitting them with it. Or if some other type of ship showed up, like there are flying ships that will do AoE damage, maybe take a chance, get a little close to these flaming ships and blow them up that way. Or maybe you don't want to take that risk. It requires a little dodging, a little finesse. It's more than just, take your main gun and brrr, and just shoot the enemies. You know what I mean? There's more to it. Swordship is $20, 20 US dollars, or your regional equivalent. I like this game. I want it to do well. I want more people to play this. And I'm stealing this straight from the Steam page. This is a dodge 'em up. I want more dodge 'em ups. Give me more dodge 'em ups.